Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1 is now on Netflix, so it's time to decide if it still has the fight left in itself. Hey everyone, welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the first 5 episodes of Cobra Kai Season 6, and we can join in the comments below with our nice, respectful opinions of everything we love about the love of cinema. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're not already to join in film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. But going right into the positive, overall, I just generally enjoy the environment, the setting, and the characters that they fight to go. It's continuing off Karate Kid and Cobra Kai as a franchise with nods and suggestions to all these Easter eggs from the past, pulling in some great punches within the fights that are very entertaining and has some great character development and the arcs, focusing in on the kids while also having some parts to the predecessor characters where we get Johnny and Daniel LaRusso. They still have their moments to shine, and Kreese is great for having him as a return villain and being able to enjoy all the antics that goes on as we create this new Cobra Kai team of its own antics. Going into the Seikai Taikai, the training moments and montages are something to be noteworthy, and just how we go into all the dissections of the characters. There's one particular moment that Tori gets that is an emotional ride that really adds to the depth of her character and going on the bias of what you're getting. And there's moments that can get you angry, can get you really excited, but they're all for the right reasons for how they're establishing the characters and progressing the story, moving forward with what we're going on, moving throughout the rest of the season, being the last one that could be a great, satisfying conclusion. Sam, Miguel, and Robbie all have their great acting performances as well. What we get out of their characters are just fun to be had as a whole, and it's just, there's a great vibe to be had exploring the new direction with what this franchise has as a whole. But leading into the mixed aspects, there's something about the college exploration that isn't as exciting, and how they go about it, I'm just kind of mixed on it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm understanding where they're going with it and the placement of these characters within their life at the moment. But ultimately, there's just not a whole lot of substance that I get out of putting the characters within that. And with where this franchise is heading, it can be a little repetitive of past notions, past character arcs, what we got of Johnny. And so it feels a little bit like something we got before. And while that isn't a huge takeaway from what the scene has to offer as a whole, because I know there is a lot more coming forward, it's not necessarily something that I can detract from Season 6, just what we know so far. But there's still something about where we're starting off with this season that isn't the biggest shebang that I had with Season 5, as a big fan of that, and of the previous season. So there's some things that I'm just not as big on as a whole. And that leads me into the negatives, which is Kreese returning as the villain. This is the biggest drawback for him being something where he gets some great scenes, but there's particular moments that aren't so striking because we've seen it from him before, and being able to recreate Cobra Kai with sort of this hack that sort of makes sense for the story but doesn't feel as clever by adding in these new secret characters or new past mentors and everything that goes along with that. Just feels like a little bit of a step backwards with what we're going with this franchise, and not necessarily that it ruins any sort of direction or there's any prejudgment of how that protects the rest of this series. But ultimately, there's certain moments with that where it feels a little bit out of balance with everything that's going with being able to have these moments over here with all of the guys training for Saikai Taikai at Miyagi-Do and their little arguments. But then there's the Cobra Kai and Kreese, and we're not getting too much from them thus far. So there's not too much development we can get with all of these new cast members, these new characters, because they're sort of giving them limited runtime of what we're seeing from them, little development, and so they're more so meant to be the evil characters in one sense, the villainous ones that don't have as much depth to them, which is fine to some extent, but doesn't align too much with what we got in the series in the past, and just what we get from the Miyagi-Do students at the moment being. And so there's certain moments where this series seems to play on the same punches that it has previous seasons, and so doesn't win my heart over all the way, at least from what we gotten from Cobra Kai Season 6 thus far. And therefore, I have to rate this season a simply 6.5 out of 10 thus far. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. Was it good? Was it bad? Or somewhere right in the middle? Make sure to leave all that. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you're not ready to join in film culture and community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. But that's just all. So make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.